Boom, and there's the red light symbolizing that we are live. Hello, everyone. I am Paul Wizzo. And before we meet our guests and dive right off into this topic, I'm going to, what am I going to do? Oh, yeah, I'm going to get rid of some announcements first, and then we're going to meet our guests. So, as I said, I am Paul Wizzo. I'd like to thank all my subscribers and supporters for your support. Did I say that right? All my subscribers and supporters. I don't know if I did or not, but we live, so we're going to roll with it. If you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, the link is in the description. Don't forget to hit that notification bell because I post to my guest availability rather than a fixed schedule. So rather than uh, uh, I forgot what I was gonna say on that. So just remember, I'll just keep right on rolling. Shit, I'm reading past my notes. Just remember that it's 100% free, absolutely free to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate your support. If you'd like to be a guest on Wizzo Talk, remember that I don't. What the fuck I was gonna say, y'all? If you like to be a never mind. I'm ahead of myself. Damn,
Yeah,
I'm ahead of myself. Let me go.
we
Let me
got
go to
you.
my
We got
notes. I'm
you,
trying to
Slow
Paul.
down,
memorize
man.
this.
Slow down. Slow down.
Take
Take
your
a deep
time now.
breath.
Take your
Yeah,
time.
let me slow down. Here we go. So I'm always looking for guests to be on Wizzo Talk. Remember that. Don't worry about no topic. Shit, I got plenty of topics. So if you like to be a guest on the show, just send me a message, smoke signal, carrier pigeon, whatever you like to do to give me the message. We will definitely get you on the show. Wizzo Talk is also on Spotify. So you want to look at it on Spotify, you can go and check it out on there. I have a link in the description where if you want to check out some Wizzo Talk merch, by all means, check it out. Those are your announcements that I slightly kind of fucked up a little bit. But with that, take due notice thereof and govern yourself accordingly. We're going to meet our guest and we're going to come with Miss Tay Tay and see what she got.
Okay, hey, what's going on? My name is Latanya, or some people do call me Tay Tay. I am a life insurance broker. I help my clients make, save, and protect their income. I also teach people about making an additional income as well. And I'm here to, roll with the shits as usual. So, yeah.
All right, that's what's up. Miss Shima, what you got there for us?
Hello. I'm Shima Ladd. I'm a personal development and premarital life coach. And so you can reach me on my website, futureprome.com. Go to the contact page, send me a message. My YouTube channel is also in the link. You can check out some videos and some courses that I put out. I help you get rid of all the negative thinking, figure out who you are, how to get your life from one point to the other, find out your gifts, your talents, your calling, so you can live the life that you want to live.
All right. That's what's up. Mr. Anthony, what you got for us on that intro?
My name's Anthony Davis. I'm from Austin, Texas. I just recently started my own handyman service called Can I Handyman Service. Just got my LLC. So trying to venture out and do my own thing again.
All right, what's up? Hey, make sure you send me that on the in the chat so I can share it in the chat. So you'll send it to me in private chat if you have a link, and I'll share it over where everyone can see that. Also, it's up to
Okay.
you if you want to. Though. All right, PM, what you got there, brother?
Hey, how's everybody going? My name is Falon McKnight, Mr. From the Streets to the Suites. On my YouTube is the PM Lifestyle Podcast, man. I'm from Kansas City by way of Los Angeles. Yes, go Chiefs. And I'm here with Wizzo, man. Getting it in. You can reach me on Falon McKnight on Instagram, um, Falon McKnight across the board, and then the PM Lifestyle Podcast on YouTube.
That's what's up. And whether you're watching it now,
I've been calling you Fallon. It's Fallon. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
hey, that's why I be saying PM because I knew I was gonna fuck it up.
It's Fallon.
yeah.
It's Fallon. Fallon.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Everybody call me P, man. It's okay. You can call me P.
All right,
Yeah.
P. That's what we're
EMP.
gonna roll with that.
Yeah,
Right.
there
PM.
we go. That's
So
everybody.
whether you guys or maybe anyone's out there, all the viewers, maybe you're watching it now or maybe you're watching it later. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate your support. And check out my guests. I have their links off in the chat. So make sure you check them out. Check out their merch. Check out their page. Check out their know-how. I appreciate that. So we're talking about, can women raise their sons to be real men? So what we're going to do here first is I'm going to ask this here, and then we just work the room. Y'all know how we do it, how everybody get down with it. So I'm going to ask women, and the guys also have a comment on this also. Knowing what you know about some men, the way men treat women now, at this age and time, at what age do you start teaching your son to respect women? Men has been labeled as cheaters. They disrespect women. It's just a long list of things. So I'm just asking, at what age do you start teaching your son of how to respect women? Because you as a woman know already what you want. I'm not saying you may have been cheated on or you may have been, in a abusive or whatever, but if having a son, how do you start and what age do you start instilling in him how to treat a woman? Said that wrong, but y'all know what I'm saying. So I'd like to start with Shima first.
Really, I think at birth. It might be from the womb.
He ain't understanding nothing at no birth.
A man's first relationship with a woman is with his mother. And so, that's an interesting question because I have two sons. And so each one was different and our relationships are different. But I started raising them to respect women, shoot, 2, 3, 4.
At 2 or 3 or 4,
You teach
okay.
them how to treat a little girl because they like the little girls. How you treat the little girls. Be nice to the little girls.
Okay, all right. So you start teaching them how to raise around about 2 or 3. Okay. So before I go ahead on to my next one, work the room. Okay, Tanya, what do you got?
Okay, so I have two sons as well, and when they were younger, of course, when they started, I would say when they were able to talk, when they were able to interact with other children, there was always like, okay, you be a little nicer to the girls. You don't rough them up so much and things like that. So you teach them when they're old enough to understand, and then Shima was saying, their first relationship is going to be with you. So you're going to be their first person that they actually see, because a lot of us think that we tell our children what to do, but really we show our children what to do. So they see us do a lot of things. They see how other people treated us, how we treat other people and things like that. So it starts with us. So I say when they're young enough to like understand, like, hey, don't do that, don't do this, try to be a little nicer and things like that. So
Okay.
when they were
All right.
younger.
All right. Mr. Davis, what you got on that?
So I grew up with both of my parents in the household. My parents been married for 56 years right now.
Woo.
And
Congratulations.
so it's kind of hard to say what age because I grew up with both of them. So they both taught me how to do things.
Okay. All right. PM, what you got on that?
Man, like the young lady said, I started off from the beginning. Oh, you have to instill from the beginning. You set that standard of what it is. That way, it's just automatic. And that's the difference between teaching them to do that and also not playing with little girls' toys versus boy toys. You got to set the standard, set that precedent right there, early age. So I can say, like, when he's able to walk or understand, don't do that.
Right.
Oh, he getting it. Yeah, all my son, my oldest is 29.
Oh, okay.
He
All
got it
right.
at an early age.
Right. So you think that I'm gonna ask this then. So does it matter if the male figure is in the house? Kind of leading an example of the way that the child should be, should be treating. Now there's some single mothers out there that's having to get a Mother's Day gift and a Father's Day gift. She's having to play both roles. So is it a big difference if the father figure is in the house or no?
I believe it is. So I have a balance. It's like my mom taught me and my brother, I have a twin brother, how to, cook, clean, basically how she want to be treated, opening doors for her, different things for her, doing different things. And my dad, he taught me how to be a man. I was in Boy Scouts, played football. I mean, everything. So it's a combination of she showed me what a woman supposed to look like. He showed me what a man supposed to look like. So I think it's very important to have that balance. And
So
so
then,
that's why I have a 30-year-old daughter, and I feel like I cheated her at an opportunity to see or experience what I experienced.
okay. So it seems like we all saying at an early age to start raising them. Well, first I say this: I was raised by my mom, even though my dad is in the hometown that I live in. But my mom and two other brothers, she was married a couple of times here and there, whatever, something like that. So, but you know, and I know some guys, some mothers have to be more, involved in the sports, taking the kids fishing, doing some little outdoor things like that or stuff like that for their son to teach them to be, so to speak, real men. But and as PM was talking about dolls and stuff like that, y'all excuse me for a minute. I need to add this other guy to the room. I was just about to
Hey,
mention that Seven. What's up, Seven?
Whoa.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
I was just about to mention you, Seven, because at one time Seven had mentioned that it's nothing wrong with his son playing with dolls or playing with something or something like that. Seven, do you remember something like that?
Oh yeah, I was saying that it's nothing wrong with boys playing with dolls because from the time little girls are babies, essentially they hand them baby dolls with no problem. Like as soon as y'all born, I feel like they give y'all stuff to show y'all how to be women. And as soon as we're born, they just give us like guns and soldiers and stuff like that. Like we never really taught how to be more sensitive and be in the household like that and be caretakers.
All right, that's what's up. Before we get going, Seven, I know you had something you had to do, so let me go ahead and let you go and do the intro right quick. Let everybody know who you are and where they can find you and everything.
Yo, more bliss, man. More life. This your boy 7 Points of Bliss, aka Pomegranate Samurai, man. Y'all can check me out on under After Real Truth. You can Google it all one word. You can check out my clothing brand. You can find me on Spotify under Cosmic Currency 777. And check my podcast out, man. Thank you for having me.
All right, that's what's up. And to let everyone know, whether you're watching now, maybe you're watching it later, I also have the links in the chat. So if you like to check out everyone's page, support, merch page, or whatever. So, ladies, let me ask you, not just the ladies, but ask y'all this. So I just want to know, do you think that it's maybe in the bloodline? So, ladies, or whatever, or guys, you didn't raise your son, the best you can to treat women. David Anthony was saying, how to open the door, how to be respectful, whatever. But yet the father's not in the house. The son is a teenager now, total renegade, treating women like shit or whatever. Maybe I'm not saying, I'm just saying maybe the father was like that. Maybe the father cheated on the mom or something like that. So my question to you is, do you think that it's in the bloodline? It's like in the DNA for them to just go head on and just be a fucking dog, so to speak.
Not necessarily. It's like my brother, he left his wife for another woman, and that here I have a 21-year-old nephew who recently bought his girlfriend a ring. I'm trying to get married, and so he has little animosity towards my brother for leaving his mom, but at the same time, the way he treating his girlfriend, I respect that. So it's not a DNA because my brother he was out there.
Right. Okay. So we're talking about can women raise their sons to be real men? I didn't get
Yeah.
Seven to give a chance to comment on that because he had some issues, whatever. So Seven, what is that? Can women raise their sons to be real men?
I mean, I feel like they can. I don't feel like some women are equipped to do so, but I feel like there are definitely women out there that can do that, especially if they understand their limitations. Some women just have limitations as to where they're not masculine enough to be able to show boys what to do. Like in my case, I was
I
adopted
agree.
by my aunt, and my aunt, she wasn't really tough like that. She was tough on me, but she knew she wasn't a man, so she kept me around me, and she had me in mentoring programs and stuff like that. Boy Scouts, she had me in different stuff to have me around men to show me how to be a man. Some women I've seen, they can raise men though. Like, I have a supervisor at work, his mom raised him all by herself, and he talks about how tough his mom was on him all the time, him and his brother. She raised both of them, and like, man, like he be doing his thing though. He be taking care of his family, his grandkids. So it's like, man, I feel like some women can definitely do it. It just depends on the type of woman it is. A lot of women feel like they're independent and they can, but I've definitely seen some women who raise their sons up, and I know I heard them if they heard me say this, but they sons are gay, bro, all the way through and through, like very feminine, and they don't even realize it. You know what I'm saying? Because this is how they are. You know what I'm saying? Like they be doing gay stuff. I be talking to the boys, and I be like, man, y'all soft, man, but they really gay for real though. They don't realize it. They just very feminized. So it's like we really got to just see the limitations of ourselves, because some men out here, you know, they how they some men are feminine too. They don't understand how they even be men out here, and that's sad to say, but man, that's how some households are.
Metrosexual.
All right.
Retro,
So,
No,
so
Metro.
let me ask Latanya this here. So Latanya, your boys is then, you know, you didn't found out that your son, I don't know, maybe a teenager, whatever, out there cheating on the woman, cheating on his girlfriend, being disrespectful, sleeping with some other women. What is that conversation like that you find out once it come to you, that you find out that he's doing women like this?
They didn't bring none of that to me, first of all. I just have to be honest. I have not met any girlfriends. My oldest is 21, and my youngest is 18. So,
They
you know,
haven't
I don't
introduced
know.
him to mama?
Uh-uh. You know what? I'm gonna say this, and I'm not one of their mamas, but I'm gonna say this: if my children are anything like me, if you're not somebody that I see myself truly being with, you're not coming around my family. You're just not coming around my family. It is what it is, and that's how I am. If you're not somebody that I can honestly say I really want to take you around my family, even with my sons when they were growing up, I didn't bring a lot of men around them. You know, I mean, I'll meet you outside at the curb, but you're not coming in my house. No, no, no. So I'm a different type of person. Now, if I would hear, if okay, we could say I'll go along with the question, but honestly, I've never had to deal with that. Now, if I heard that my son was going around cheating and all this other stuff, I would have to let him know, hey, there's a lot of consequences to your actions. One, there's babies that can come up. Two, that girl can come over here and vandalize my house, and then I have to go to jail. Or three, you can be around here passing around STDs. So that was the conversation I would have if I had to have it, but thank goodness I didn't. So that's probably why they didn't bring anybody home. So I'm just saying.
Shima, what's up with you on that?
I'm just saying. I don't know.
Because I love what she's saying. I'm like, yep, on point. Yep, check.
I mean, there's a lot of things
They the same way.
Because, you know, you think about little kids and women. I mean, I can think about myself when I was a young woman. My emotions were all over the place. So you think about you hurting this woman. This is probably her, listen, young lady, this is her first relationship. If she don't have it all together, she going to be taking it out on the wrong person. Or a lot of stuff is going to happen.
Right.
So, I mean, I would have to have a conversation, but thank God I never did. Oh, my goodness. And I have to have conversations about other things, but not that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And before I get Shima's reply, I'd like to make sure y'all check out the comments, because I may not read all the comments, but I definitely will post them if I get a chance to. So there, in case you want to address any of the comments. But so you, Miss Shima, what's up with that then?
Well, she's saying exactly right. Like my boys are the same way, and I think it's because if you're a good mother, like this brother Seven was saying, it depends on the woman. Like she sounds like she was a good mother. I know I was a good mother. So to hear her boys are the same way mine are, she was a good mother. My boys won't, if they're not serious about her because I raised them intelligently, they're not gonna bring her around. They're not gonna do it. And I have one son, and my middle son, he got involved with one of them girls like she talking about, went crazy and got it all upstairs, popping up at the job, popping up everywhere, and then she started putting her hands on. I said, okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, she finna see your mama.
Exactly.
She finna see your mom.
Exactly.
Mm.
So
All right.
I get it, but she right. It depends on the woman and how you raise your son. But yes, a woman can raise a man, a young boy, to be a man to a certain extent. Like Seven said, you have to know your limitations. When you know where you falling short, that's where you make sure that man is there to gap in what we don't quite get.
Okay. All right. Before we meet my next guest that just was able to come in here, yeah, any of the guys, y'all got any comments on that or anything? We good? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let me go and meet my next guest right here that she had to pop in. I know she was working and everything like that. Come on with your intro there, Miss Chandra.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Coach Chan, fitness instructor. All right, I teach Ride Mondays, 5:45. Come see me, Crunch Fitness Colleen.
Yeah, and not only that, Miss Chandra, before we go, you also do something else. What else is it that you like to do?
I like to hike. I try to get some ladies together or guys, whoever would like to come. And, probably like once a month, I'm trying to start a hiking group. So I do go hiking. I have been
Oh, that's
most of
what's
the
up.
hikes around here, but I've been venturing out. The last hike that I done, it was great. It was a really good time there and back. So, yes.
That's what's up. I saw pictures and that you ladies was taking out there and exploring the wild yonder. You know, you can't get some men out there, especially some men of color. They be like, "I'm taking my gun." Y'all out there with just nothing but a
Hey,
damn backpack and shit. You know, the
hey,
guys we got bigger
is she close
weapons.
to us?
Huh?
Is she close to us?
Yeah, she right in clean.
Hey, what day do you do the hiking? I love hiking.
Oh, I go on Saturdays. I try to start Saturday morning. Like when we go further out, we start like 8. But when we start in local, we go probably like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. So
Oh yeah, I'm down for that. Oh yeah.
okay,
I'm with that.
that's
All right,
what's
let
up.
me before we get ready to get into our next little topic right there. Let me ask Miss Chandra: can women raise their sons to be real men?
Absolutely. Um, I'm actually, raising my son right now, and there's a lot of women involved, like the grandmothers and great grandmothers. There's more women on the side that's actually raising him up. And I think he's turning out just fine. As you can see, you follow, so you can see, my son is into now. Like Seven was saying, my son has been in Boy Scouts. I did put him in Boy Scouts. I have put him in football. My son is he's a fisherman. He's an angler. I mean, he does all kind of different things. So he is around a lot of masculinity. I do have brothers, so he's around like uncles and I mean my dad and everything. So he still does have a lot of mentors around him as well. So I
Yeah,
believe he
most
is.
definitely. Yeah, I've seen you out there fishing with him. I've seen you out there this powerlifting meets and everything like that. So I mean, it's no doubt to me that a woman can raise, their sons to be real men. But I was just wondering at what point, and so far the guys that everyone's been saying, they start teaching them how to treat a woman early. I mean, as soon as they possibly can, you know, and able to understand because you already know that men has already got the mark on them for treating women like dogs, from treating women like this. And so, all right, I got you. And so I just wanted to make sure how that came about. And y'all, when I get to studying, because I'm reading something over here and I'm still trying to get my point across or whatever. So, with that being said, let me go and jump over to another little topic. And I think we didn't got all that meat off that bone right there. But I'm gonna come to Anthony and see what he want to throw out there for us.
Well, Toya talked about it
Oh,
earlier,
hold on just a
though.
second. I'm sorry. I just now read that correct. PM, go ahead.
Yeah, I believe if they have to do the job of raising their son, you can, because you're gonna be left up to that decision to do that. I mean, depending on the circumstances is. But it's gonna be some things that a woman can't teach him. It's like the same thing as a man can't teach a woman certain things, or his daughter. Daughter will respect the dad a lot more because you're gonna have a voice that they can listen to because it's more stern. It's a little bit more deeper, a little bit more fear coming from a dad, your father, right? But you can get across from your daughter a lot more. Your son is gonna need a little bit more because he's gonna need to learn how to control his emotions. It's not all about just cheating on a woman and things like that and treating a woman. He needs to know how to conduct himself fully as a man. There's gonna be things that he's growing up, and while he's growing up, that he's not able to speak to his mother about. I mean, and a lot of things that he's gonna be processing in his mind. And luckily, like my mom, she was a single parent, but we had like one of the young ladies said, she has uncles and things like that. It's gonna take a real village, really home in on those things right now, to help them out because sometimes, the mother she can be, not as protective as she needs to be, or she might want to reflect off how she was raised, or what the kid is not having, to now say, okay, well, I'm gonna give my son a break because I didn't have a dad, or the relationship between me and his dad didn't work out, so I'm gonna give them a little bit more than what they need, or I'm gonna overlook some things. And what happens is that becomes a slippery slope. So now, as that kid gets older, he's not respecting his mom as much. He's not looking at her as an authority figure for the simple fact because he knows he now can get away with certain things. A dad can detect certain things, a lot of things, because we are men. We're in a certain position to where we know I can't let this little boy come over here and see my daughter, and I know what a boy gonna try to do if my daughter and my son gets along some alone time. Anne's gonna start, roaming and kissing and all that stuff. So as a dad, when what how to home in on that. So as a mother trying to raise a son, you're and I'm not knocking it 'cause like I said, my mother was a single parent, but there's certain things that a boy is gonna say, you know what? Mom ain't paying attention to this. I mean, I can get over on her, I can slide this by her because the detection is not going off. You haven't been a man to even know how to raise a man, and there's certain things that we're gonna need to do. If he's coming home from football practice and the things that boys say all the way from that pure pressure, you know what? If he knows that his mom is gonna be at home, he can probably get past some things. You know what I mean? And I know some women that have raised men. They had to go out there and bust him in the chest a couple of times to make him act right. But I also know some women that have some passive sons, and like Seven said, few of them was soft, and few of them ended up gay. Doing some gay stuff. I mean, and not to be offensive like that, but they did some stuff with some men. So as a man, you're gonna know how to home in on that. So now we have a situation where there's a lot of black women, sisters raising sons alone because the dad is either incarcerated or they're not getting along with the mother in some kind of way, shape, or fashion because the way the system has designed it. So now we have at least 20% of the women in America raising sons by their on their own. So you got to kind of home in on it and hope that you do have some help to help you kind of steer your son in the right direction. Because I remember one time, like even my mom was raising me and I'm riding a skateboard outside. I fall, bust my head, boom. I walk in the house. Now I'm perfectly fine. I'm just coming there to get a band-aid. And then I see my mom. She's like, "What happened?" I said, "Oh, I fell." She almost convinced me into crying. You know what I mean? It was like, "Oh, you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, yeah." Next thing you know, I'm not all right. But luckily I had uncles in there like, "Hey man, don't be talking to him like that. Did he come in here crying?" Well, let him go out there and just go back, get a band-aid and go back outside. So it's little things like that can actually carry on and on, in the furtherance of life and stuff like that. So you have to, be careful about it. You know what I mean? And if you know somebody that might need some help as a single parent mom, just, step in and help the mom or give her some advice because I know a lot of women right now, they're raising their like 16, 17, 18 when that little boy starts smelling himself, smelling his nuts, or overlooking his mom, looking down on her, that he's gonna be thinking now, you can't tell me much. I mean, so it really depends on what kind of help she has and how strict she is on her sons too.
All right. Yeah, right. Any comments on that, ladies, guys?
Man, what's so funny about when he said that? The first thing I thought about was with my ex-wife. When me and her first started dating, and her son was like 2. Man, and he used to be doing some wild shit when she wasn't looking. Man, I'm talking about this nigga used to be motherfucker throwing cups of water at me and shit, kicking me when me and her first started talking. So listen, bro, I used to chase this nigga, bro. He'd hit the wall with his hand and then run into his mama and act like I hit him. And I'd be like, this little motherfucker faking. Hey, little kids be some little geniuses on manipulation. And it's like, bro, a lot of moms don't detect that shit. And you know what? It's even crazier. A lot of the times when the dad's around, it's so crazy the type of shit you really see. Because when the mom's around, the kids gonna be running around acting crazy and shit because they feel safe, right? But then when my ex-wife used to go out with her friends and shit, and I used to be watching all their kids, sometimes they would come back upstairs like they forgot something. They'd be like, how you get the kids to sit there so quiet? I'm like, because they know I'm going to hurt their ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, kids, they tune into that shit, man. They need that structure and they need that fear. You know what I'm saying? Like, back in the day, my dad was used to tell me, or my mom would say some shit like, we brought you in this world, we'll take you out. Kids don't have that type of fear anymore. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Kids just be like, oh, I'm safe around my mom. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. They're not used to being picked up by their neck and shown that their existence is fragile. You know what I mean? Until they go outside and somebody kill them. And we really need to do more on that because kids are wild, man. You know what I'm saying? You got kids out here stabbing each other, shooting each other, little tiny kids. And it's like, where the parents at when these kids are ordering these machine guns online, bro? How the fuck? How does they get these guns and shit? Like, nobody is scared of these kids. Like, everybody's scared of the kids. Nobody's putting no type of fear in them. And that's what the father is for. Because the fathers really the whole time teach the kids how the world operates. You know what I'm saying? And kids, they need to see that shit because mothers and fathers teach kids two different things. It's two completely different energies. We're going to teach them how the world operates, and the mother is going to give them all the basic stuff, the love, the compassion. The father's going to give a little compassion, but the father's going to let the kids suffer a little bit and see and watch them. They gotta hurt themselves just a little bit and then come back and talk to me. Show me what the world has taught you, and I can teach you how the world showed me, and we're going to put that together. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of kids not getting that. And that's so funny because when he was saying that, that's what I was just thinking about.
All right, that's what's up. I just want to draw everybody attention to the comments. Like I say, once they get to popping up, sometime I can't post everyone and read everyone, but if you like to comment on one, by all means, do so. But I want to say this right here. I know when we was talking about fear and man up, we covered a podcast once before when one of the ladies was saying men always want their son to man up, quit crying, don't do this, don't do that, you know. And so my question is, I mean, is this your ladies? I mean, your son come to you, you know, just having just lost a football game or whatever. I just throw some sports out there, whatever, something like that. You know, what are you gonna do? You know, because like PM was just saying, he almost wanted to cry or whatever. So your son come to you, he's lost his football game or his sporting event or some championship game. I'm just using sports because sports always related. So what are you gonna tell him? Are you gonna tell him, oh shit, don't worry about that, man on up, quit crying? Are you gonna say, well, go on cry, let it on out or whatever? I'm just curious what the ladies might say on that. And any one of y'all go first. We'll start with Chandra.
Well, my son is 17, so I've been there, done that. I mean, everything that the guys are saying right now, I mean, y'all, I agree, you know. So, but yeah, so the sports, when it comes to the sports and stuff like that, I let him get it out. You know what I'm saying? I just let him get it out because I know, you know, he be telling me how it goes on the football field. He be telling me they be out there name calling, they be out there cussing, they be out there talking all kind of trash. So when he on the field, he be pushing it out. I mean, I already know what time it is, so I just let him get it out. So we get in the car. I'm like, you straight? You good? Did you get it out? You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I don't need it today, son. Please, not today.
All right,
So
that's what's up. I see Miss Erica say she just gonna listen. So that's what's up. Okay. Any other ladies have any comment? If not, I'm gonna let Mr. Anthony come
Well,
on with
I
whatever.
think I agree. It goes back to what type of woman it is. Because I was raised, and this is the best twist on my part. I was raised primarily by a man, like a real manly man. And so I was tomboyish. I'm not like the average female. And so when my boys, you know, I raised my boys, but a lot of things I do are managed. I'm not gonna lie. And so my boys really they had a mother raising them, but they had a slightly tomboyish managed mother raising them. So with my kids, they never seen me cry. Like, even today, my kids probably seen me cry once, maybe twice, maybe. I wasn't a crier. You know what I'm saying? I was like my dad. When somebody push you, you get harder, you go stronger, you push. So I have a different aspect versus being raised by both parents or being raised by primarily a woman. You know, but for my boys, like I raised them because I knew I had that short end of the man not always being there. My thing was, okay, I need my boys to be tough. If something ever happened to me, I need my kids to be a certain way, you know. And so when it comes to sports and games and stuff like that, I always taught them, because again, I'm into personal development. I always taught them to more so look within. First of all, is this what you feeling like, you know, is your best gift, your best talent? Is this desire for you so strong that you can't let it go? So always check within yourself before you start getting mad, before you trying to act some kind of way. Is this true to who you is and what you, the goal you really trying to accomplish? You know, and then I'll back you on anything, you know. So I just taught them to look at things from a different perspective, not so much as so much competition. And then they daddy, you know, he can add that part whenever he see them or whatever they do. But I just tried to give them a baseline to always go off of.
All right, that's
So
what's
Shima,
up.
you just said, oh, your dad helped you out, right? He made you tough. You put a lot of emphasis
Yeah.
on manly, manly, manly man. See how that accidentally poured into you to be a little bit tougher. So answer the question, can women raise men? The dad is gonna automatically give off something to where he's directing his son to be tough when times are needed. I mean, because it's a tough world out there. Once you get outside, you outside in 18, or you know, as a grown man, there's no breaks, there's no caution tape. They're gonna take it for what it is. They're gonna expect you to have what you need to be a man. Go to the military. They groom you into, and I've never been in the military, but you're gonna be groomed into how much pressure you can take. Make up your bed. Can you do this and different things like that? So that reflected on your sons, and it helped you out instantly being a single mother with 2 boys because your dad had poured some toughness into you. I mean, and he didn't know how to. As men, we don't we know how to turn it down a little bit, but we always on go. You know what I mean? So it was a good thing that he
Always
did
on
that because that
go.
just that helped you out. You know what I mean?
All
Mhm.
right, that's what's up.
Yeah,
Good
it
point.
did.
Good point. All right. Well, I think we didn't got all that meat off of that bone right there. I had a couple other things, but I'm gonna pass some up because due to time, because I want to make sure that uh, Anthony get in his, and I want to make sure that at least a couple of women that I might have to leave get something in. So, Anthony, what you got? You want to throw out there for us, man?
Okay, so this topic was very interesting to me. I have a friend of mine. She's has cancer, and she has a 2-year-old son. And so I was in a relationship where my partner had a problem with me helping my friend out because she needed help how to raise a boy, her son. It was like she was trying to potty train him, and she didn't know how to potty train him.
Hmm.
And so she looking for some assistance, but because I was in a relationship at that time, my partner didn't approve of me trying to help her out. As men and women, what would y'all do in that situation?
Let me ask you this first. How long were you and your partner? Were y'all together?
Yes,
Y'all were together. So you trying to help raise her? I mean, trying to help potty train a 2-year-old son.
a friend of mine that has cancer, going to radiation treatment and all that stuff, and she needs help.
Right. Hmm. Well,
Dang.
I mean, for us, for me, I don't know what anyone else gonna say. Y'all know how we do it here on Wizzo Talk. We just
Um,
uncut and unedited. So,
Let me tell
that
you a
doesn't
little
have
secret.
anything. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I don't think that has
Let-
anything to do with being a man. That has everything to do with you being with the insecure woman. Because at the end of the day, you were trying to help out a friend. You were just with the insecure woman. Now, why that woman was insecure, there's probably more to that story. And that's in another way, that's your business. But if you were just helping out that child, you could have brought the child to your house to help potty trained. You didn't have to go over there for save. She was that insecure. But I mean, that sounds like a insecure problem. I don't think that has nothing to do with you being a man or somebody being a man helping out somebody's child. That's an insecurity problem on her end.
yeah.
I
And
got
one thing is, I don't know. Oh, well, let me go ahead, PM. I think you was gonna say something.
So, Anthony, is this like a current issue or is this a past issue?
Past issue.
Past.
Now that I'm not in a relationship, I am trying to spend more time helping my friend, help her with her son, because she needs help. I mean, cancer is a big deal.
Let me
Yeah.
give you an easy way to potty train a kid, man.
Well,
Starburst.
not just Yeah, not just potty training, but spend time with them. Teach them
Oh,
how
okay.
to, different things. Not just, I mean, I'll babysit them and all that stuff. Teach them how to do different things as a little boy because she's unable to do anything. I mean, she's going through treatment, radiation, chemo. She just had surgery. So she asking for help, and I don't mind her helping.
Okay, okay. I thought it was a
PM, go
potty
ahead.
training. Yeah, I thought it was a potty training issue. I was about to say I can help you
No,
with that
it's
one, but if it's an issue that she has, that's still continuing treatment and things like that, that's just something, in my opinion, I don't know how it works, but you
What
would
is
have
her
to
prognosis?
work that
Does
one
she
out.
have a good prognosis? Or is
uh,
it a situation where the child was probably gonna need long-term care?
so the child, he has a little bit mental issues,
Mm.
but he's a handful right now. And she just started chemo last year. She's going to radiation. She had both her breast just recently removed last month, and so
You said
she
he has
needs
mental disabilities.
yes.
Mm.
Does he have any like a caseworker or any type of support?
She trying to do everything herself. She
Every
trying
child, if
to
you reach out to this company called Every Child, it's here in Austin. If you're in Austin, it's a company called Every Child, and they should be able to give you some resources or a way to lead because they have programs that'll help get her set up or her baby set up with services, and they'll give her some support. That way, everything isn't on you, and you can get a hold to some more resources.
we'll link up because she needs help.
Right.
And I appreciate her trying to do everything herself, but in her condition, you can't do everything yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Every Child. Reach out to Every Child.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. 7 p.m. Anybody take Tanya?
Shit,
Anybody
hey,
got a
I'm
comment?
gonna tell him you a good ass brother for stepping up, man. It take a village for
Yeah.
sure, and I know a lot of people that wouldn't even stepped in. They be like, "That's your problem," even if you was a homie. So,
Yeah.
hey, man, big ups to you, bro, for sure.
All right. Chandra, any comment on that? Shannon. I don't know if she good. Any PM, Latanya, anybody else got a comment on that right there?
I would
Nah,
say that if that's your friend and if you want to continue to, I'm so sorry, I'm interrupting you again. My
oh
bad.
no, 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 go ahead, go
Um,
ahead.
I would say if that's your friend and that's somebody that you want to be there for, then you need to be there for your friend. You have a good heart. It seems like you're trying to do the right thing. If you're looking to date anyone else, you're going to have to let that person know who comes into your life in the future to let them know, hey, this is my friend. This is what I'm doing for my friend. And if you have an issue with it, you're more than welcome to leave now because you're trying to be there for a person who cannot help themselves at this time. So I wouldn't even try to stress myself out by worrying about somebody else getting mad because I want to be there for my friend and help them because I know.
Damn, she just froze up.
You froze up.
She was going in. You froze up, but you back. You She froze. PM, go ahead, PM.
Oh man, that's one thing that's above my experience level. But I mean, I'm a person that you can't tell me nothing if it's going for a good deed. So you feel in your heart that you need to do that, man, you go ahead and do it. It's gonna be a lot that entails with that, and that goes behind that. And God will bless you over all things. So you make sure, that's something that you can handle. Reach out for much help as you can. And like Shima said, get the information used to, refer some other and get some outside help too, because it's gonna be a lot. And I deal with a lot of special needs kids myself on a day-to-day basis. And it can be difficult. You gotta have patience. A lot of people have to have patience. So um it's a difficult situation, man. That's something you locked in, man. Locked in because the kid gonna be needing you long run as much as he can.
Yeah, most definitely. And and if she's going through them, different types of treatment, different types of whatever, and some, she may not even be, thinking in her right mind or whatever, or something like that. So sometimes you may have to just go on and just take control of the situation. I mean, I don't know, but at least you're trying. I'm sure there's a lot more to the story. You can only share so much with us,
Oh
but
yeah.
The most peace you can give her is for her to know that her baby is gonna be okay if something happened to her. That's the most peace you could possibly give her.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
That's
Okay,
what a
take
mother thinks about. What is gonna happen to my babies? That's what
That's
they
what
think
her
about.
concern is too.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and then she wind up trusting you. I mean, that's the thing is too, in my opinion. She has to end up trust you to know that that you mean well, and I don't know what type of conversation y'all have or had or anything like that, but if I think that if that woman trusts you wholeheartedly, then she'll let you go and do everything that's needed to do what you do. Because I mean, even wind up being with dating another woman that's that has kids or whatever, and you wind up having to tighten that son up, and she knows that you're not being abusive to her son and trust you to go and hand out discipline to him, then so she got to trust you and know that that you mean well, and stuff like that. So that's just my thing on that. It looked like we done lost a couple. I don't know if they had a few little things going on. But again, I'll draw y'all attention over to the comments. We got quite a few comments over there. If y'all see something that you want to address, by all means, go right ahead. With that being said, was that about pretty much what you had there, Anthony?
Yeah, I was just curious. I talked to a couple of friends of mine, and they feel like I shouldn't do it. Well, I should put my woman first, but if a friend needs help, friends are hard to come by these days.
Yeah. And since you said that, so you said your friend and then your woman. So sometimes women can go and be saying, "Well, shit, you giving too much time and attention over there to that other person or whatever when you should be giving time with me." So
I understand that.
that's tough to I don't know. That's tough.
I mean,
Even,
from a woman perspective, if it was really that serious, if I was the other woman and he felt that way, if it was my man, you need to come to me and talk to me and bring me in. If you need me to help you support her, we can do it together. That way I got a clear understanding and we're really helping her. Because if you bring your woman in and her heart is right, she gonna start making phone calls. She gonna try to figure out how to get her man back in the house anyway and get this woman the help she needs.
right.
Not
But wait a
saying she
minute.
gonna stop you from going over there, but there's gonna, we gonna get some more support going, and she gonna dig in and help her. But if that ain't what the situation is, you might want to move around.
Right. Well, let me ask you this though. That the one that has cancer was an ex, right?
Yes, well, not
Was
an
it
ex, it was a
ex
friend of
too?
mine. No, it
It
wasn't
was,
an ex. It
okay, it
was a
wasn't an ex,
friend.
just a friend, but a female.
Yes.
Okay. And see, some females are different. I think it's different with guys. Sometimes us guys are like, man, shit, we don't give a fuck. But a female, you over there, you got your lady over here on this side, and then you going over here and you hipping this other female and doing things with her son. Some women don't take kindly to that shit, but that just, you know.
You
Well,
might want
I
to get the church
bought,
involved and have the missionaries come through with you and your wife, and y'all all go together.
I mean, I bought him to
that,
my house.
that might work out
Okay.
better.
Yeah, I bought him to my house, but she had a problem with me babysitting her.
But she
Right.
somewhere deep down, she probably thought that was your kid, dog, and you wasn't telling her or something like that, man. Hey, women be making some crazy stories. Hey, yo, hey, for real. I know some women that believe their own dreams. You know what I'm saying? They wake up, that's a dream.
Yeah. All right. All right.
I claim mine, so I ain't gotta hide that.
All right, then. So we did pretty much got a little of that beat off the bone. God, y'all shit, we rolling right. Usually I'll be throw out the first topic. We'd be on this sometime about an hour, but we didn't ran through can women raise their sons to be men and shit. We didn't ran through with Anthony with his. So shit, let me see what 7. You gotta leave at what time?
I'm good till like 7:15.
Okay, well then let me come to you right quick then before cause you're gonna be getting ready to jet and Miss Shima, I was fixing to come to you, but I don't know if Chandra's still there or not, but 7, what you got out there for us to work on?
So there was a lot. I want to address 2 comments that I seen. The one of the first one was this lady Erica. She said they don't need fear to be obedient.
I saw that. Yeah.
You really don't. You don't need. When I was talking about fear, fear isn't about being obedient. The fear is about them learning the lesson. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to fear, fear teaches you how to respect things. You know what I mean? Like people don't have a respectful fear of things anymore. So a lot of things fuck people up. Like when I was a shorty, they was like, man, you got to know what a gun does. You know what I mean? So you know a gun to kill something. Like one of your guests here on here before was like, yeah, he take his son hunting. He showed his kids that, you know what I'm saying, a gun kills things.
Yeah.
So now they have a respect for it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a tiny fear in your heart. Like, damn, man, this motherfucker could go off on me. You know what I'm saying? People don't allow their children to have that anymore for some odd reason. I don't understand why. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like little kids are just hopping in their mama car while they mama sleep and just drive that bitch through the neighborhood and shit. Not understanding like you can kill yourself and other people.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Because people, they're not teaching their kids to have fear. It's a healthy fear.
They do need fear.
Yeah.
They need fear.
They need fear.
And people think when you say fear, fear always has to mean a bad, negative thing.
No, it's a
fear
positive
does not always
thing.
mean negative. Sometimes fear is a positive thing because it keeps you safe. It keeps you within boundaries. And that's what I tell people about their kids. You know, you want to know if you tell your kid to stop, are they going to stop or they going to keep doing it? Because if they finna run in the street and you say stop and they don't stop and get hit, then the parents sitting there looking funny. But your kids should know how to obey you. They should have a certain level of fear that I'm going to get my ass whipped if I do A, B, C, D, or if I disrespect my parent. And there ain't no fear no more. And see, I'm an old school mama. And my son told me last week, his little friend don't believe in whipping her son, and she want me to babysit him. He said, well, I'm going to tell you now, if my mama babysit him, he's going to get a whip. He's going to get one. And she didn't bring him, justly so, because I raise kids. I don't babysit nobody kids. I raise them. And when you know how to raise them, you have a good understanding of just the right amount of fear to put in them. But you do it with love. You do it with love. You do it with kindness. You do it with love. But they understand that. But if they don't have no fear of what you're saying and what you can do, why listen to you? They're going to go get into all kind of trouble, and you the one looking like the fool.
Yeah. Let me see, PM. Oh, go ahead, PM.
Shima said, it's going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you.
That part. And it do, because you cry. You don't hurt but you like, if I don't do it,
Gotta catch the fade. I had two relatives, right? They're twins. And then every night they stole their mama car. They ain't do nothing.
Dang.
One night they stole the car and ran it into the garage and hit the neighbor's room, knocked down the whole wall. Got up and ran in the house and act like ain't nothing happened. She said, what happened to the car? If they had that fear, they wouldn't have done it. They kept sneaking girls in the house. You know what I mean? They going through the ups and downs. They just got off probation. And they had the nerve to challenge me one day. I'm at the gun range. I get the call like, hey, you need to come over here. They turning up. So I'm thinking like, all right, let me go pull up over there. I get over there and I ask them like, what's going on? They start mouthing off. And I come from that, you don't talk to no adults no any type of way. You know what I mean? The male, female, whoever's older than you, respect that person. So I said, go ahead and let's leave this alone. There's too many people out here. As I'm walking away, I trip over one of their shoes. I think, watch my shoes. Oh man, I went back to the streets on them. Next thing you know, I'm like, no, I'm like, you know what? I'm looking around. I said, I'm in an apartment complex. There's too many eyes on me. I said, come into the streets when nobody fixing to see what I'm about to do to you.
Yeah.
So they running out there. They taking their shirt off. They mama out there and everything. So I drive into the street, turn around, and I take my shirt off. I promise you, they ran all the way to the curb and stopped. The mama got on the phone, started calling 911. She like, oh, don't do it. And she yelling my name. So I'm like, you know what? Police gonna come over here. They're gonna hear my name on the 911 call. They're gonna hear all that. She trying to stop me from coming in. The kids never ran out in the street. And I had to turn and look at him and tell him, you see what your mama doing right here? She ain't stopping y'all. She's stopping me from getting out of the car. She know my street value. And, I told him, I said, I'll catch y'all when your mama ain't here.
Yeah.
But I was just informed that they turned 18 today. So ain't no more calling the police. On me.
You
That's what we've been paying for.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, y'all,
Getting ready, bro.
you
This girl
before
down here.
I gotta tell y'all
That's
got
like Paul. Remember, I told you about my stepson. I'm 5'6". Now this
Yeah.
nigga's 6'3". I can't just whip his ass. I'm whipping. He gonna look at me and tell me if you whip me again, I'ma punch you in your face.
Yeah.
Next thing I know,
Dang.
I done body slammed this big nigga. 6'3". I'm
Yeah.
5'6". I done took this nigga to the ground.
Yeah.
Called a CPS case, but he'll never ever again in his life. And because of that, his life turned all the way around. Because his daddy and his mama wasn't doing it, and his stepmama was he got a real one, and his life ain't been the same since.
Yeah,
Already.
I told you when they
I had
start
to put
looking
the
over you,
fear
they
in him.
start
You
thinking
6'3",
different.
nigga. You only
Yeah.
14 years old. Let me show you something.
Hey y'all, just a couple of things, cause my kids in the comments talk crazy over here. There's one that's up here right now. I fear my dad in high school. I made sure I was on time to class and people didn't call home or whatever. And then my son go post, and say how she is. Hey, look, y'all get off the goddamn podcast shit. Let me talk about this right here though. Before we go, because I wanted to ask. Let me see, where was it at? It was a comment right here by Mark. Mark, what's up, man? We appreciate you chatting in, but you already know you ain't supposed to be in the damn comments if Chris ain't here. But we gonna give your ass a pass this time. So, but anyway, Mark talking about all the black children on the subways. Mark is white. I'm assuming. I think we realized that on the last time Mark's been on quite a few times. We don't have subways around this way, unless we're going to eat at the subway. So anybody got any comment right there on Mark's deal right there? We're gonna let him slide.
Nah, I'm telling you this, man. He kind of on point with that shit because being from Chicago, the kids they be wilding on the trains and they be wilding on the buses. But that also goes back to home training too, though, because a lot of the times, even when I was in school, bro, we used to turn up on the trains and the buses coming home. But I was in military school, so when we got out, shit, we felt like we was oppressed all day. So we gonna act wild in a motherfucker. And it's like, man, when the parents are not around, of course, kids are gonna be themselves. That's just like the old saying, man. When you're alone, that's who you truly are. How you act when you're alone, that's who you truly are. When kids are away from their parents, that's who the fuck they truly are. You know what I'm saying? You can't stop your kid from acting like that. You can try to teach them, but inevitably, whoever they are, who they're gonna be, that's who they're gonna be when you're not around. You can't stop them. So the kids, they do need to act better, but they kids, shit. You know what I'm saying? If you try to talk to them, they gonna beat your ass, especially in Chicago. They'll come at you in a group and get you. You know what I'm saying? Like it was at one point, it was like 2 years after I had graduated from high school, some kids acting crazy on the bus. I was gonna say something, but then I was thinking, nigga, they probably gonna think I'm still in high school and fuck me up. So I didn't even say anything. And I only been out of high school for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So I was just acting like that. So I was like, damn, I really can't even say too much. Them
Right,
niggas
right.
up.
Damn. I know that shit. So Mark, I hope that kind of got you squared away on that, right there. I said Shannon, you been quiet before I asked Shima what she got. You good? You got it, you need to comment on something?
No, it all sounds good to me.
Oh, here I am.
All right.
Yes. Can you hear me? I'm
Yeah,
here.
yeah, we hear you.
Okay, so um I'm that old school grandma for my son. I'm a young grandmother, y'all. Okay. But my grandson, see, I don't like they talking about what they say, these kids these days have no home training. Boy, he was so cute when he was little. But now he know not to play. All I got to do is look at him. I just look at him, give him one wrong look, and he straightened up. He know I would grab him and take him up some stairs. He know I would take him out to the car. Me and him had plenty of visits to the car. He know I'll take him in the bathroom anywhere. So he don't have no problems.
Yeah.
He don't have no problems. That's with me though. See, when he get with his parents, he's somebody else. I don't know. That's with the mom and the dad. Okay, so he got two parents over there, the mom and the dad, and it's just he all over the place.
Right. Yeah,
He all over the place.
That's damn sure. But I tell you what,
when
that
the parents ain't right, the kids start acting crazy. They
He
like the
come over
parents is
here.
doing all this right here, whatever they got going on. So the kids be in their own little world.
He come over here. He come over here. He know what time it is.
yeah,
And then also I
That
want to agree.
stable foundation for them.
Yeah, and like yourself, um, I was raised in a two-parent household. However, my dad was very hard, so it raised me up to be a certain way. So when it comes to like raising kids and stuff like that, I mean, I had to play both sides. I was, the disciplinarian, I was the mama, like the nurturer as well. So they got all of it, in one package. So,
I
you know,
understand.
but
Was somebody trying to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say a lot of the times when it comes to like, especially the children that we raised, and like I don't have any grandkids or nothing. My daughter, she's 20, but she doesn't really talk to me now because she says that I was really hard on her when she was younger. And I'm trying to explain to her, like, man, I knew where the world is going. You could see it. You know what I'm saying? So I had to be hard on her now because the things that she's about to have to endure by the time she does have children, the world is not going to be what she thinks it is, right? But I see a lot of these kids, even like in my sister, like how she raised her kids, a lot of these kids are saying, we don't want to raise our kids how we were raised. And they could have been raised good, but if the children feel like that you are hard on them, they're going to be soft on their children. And that's where the problem comes in, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be that firm hand like we had to be. And for some odd reason, I think the kids think that we got some type of enjoyment out of it. But it's weird because it's like we had to give them what we needed to give them. And you don't understand it until you become a parent. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was a kid, I thought motherfuckers was hard on me. And then I got to be a grown man. I was like, damn, everybody who was hard on me, I got mad fucking respect for. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, all the dudes that was hard on me, bro, I still go see their ass. And I be thinking as a grown man, like, why? And then I started to think like these motherfuckers was really instilling something on me that I didn't even understand then. But growing into a man, you feel it. So it's like you have love and admiration for these people because you know that they showed you the world how it truly was before other people was even showing you what the world truly was. People be babying these kids, trying to make them think like these cartoons or something like the word of some type of fairy tale. And real people out here, they gonna be hard on you to show you, like, bro, the world crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had one of my uncles, he beat the shit out of me when I was a kid, bro. I thought I was about to die. And you know,
Damn.
bro, and that's because my dad wasn't even around. He beat the shit out of me, fucked me up real good, dog. I think I'm about to die, dog. And he told me if I was some niggas on the street, you would be dead. Hey, that shit had me motherfucking thinking. I was calculating, like, he ain't lying. Motherfuckers in the real world gonna kill your ass. I'd rather put somebody who love me to beat me up than somebody who don't care about me.
Yeah. Anthony, what you got right there? Yeah. Anthony, any comment?
Well, I mean, I think about how I was raised, both my parents together. I think I went wild when I got in the military and went to Chicago, and I was introduced to a whole different lifestyle compared here in Austin.
Yeah.
And so I kind of, I left my home training and picked up some Chicago training.
Uh-oh.
Well, military training, but like that, I was in the Navy, so.
Yeah. Appreciate you tapping in there, Elder Ellis. I appreciate all of the viewers that's watching right now. Just like y'all remember that it's 100% free to like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate your support and we appreciate the comments. And my guests are looking at the comments. However, we just kind of rolling along, but they are reading them and we are checking them on out, and I'll post them on the screens accordingly. So we appreciate y'all staying with us for a little while. But and I'll just say this, I was my dad lived here in Temple, but I was raised 99.8% by my mom, 99.9 damn near whatever. And shit, I did some renegade stuff, but just really didn't get caught. So I ain't gonna say too much because my kids is watching right now. So I'm gonna let some of that pass. But overall, just to go back to about, when we was talking about can a woman raise their son to be real men, and with the men being there in the house or whatever. So, I was present, with my kids or whatever, and they seen the way that I treated their moms and stuff like that because I've been married twice. And so they, I wasn't abusive. I wasn't this, I wasn't that, so, and right now, as far as I know, my boys are not like that. My daughter, she was coming earlier, I have had to jack their ass up a couple of times, but that was just I didn't beat the shit out of them or nothing like that, like a couple of our guests have said, but I can give them the look sometime and get some respect. Cause I put that lip in that mouth, and motherfucker, you gonna get your motherfucking ass,
Now I
shit
did
like
send
that.
him to his daddy when sometimes the one I sent to his daddy when he felt pull his chest. I said I put him right on the plane, gone to you. He coming, pick him up at 11:05.
Yeah. So we definitely do it like that. But anyway, with that being said, I think we got some of that meat off the bone. So I want to make sure that everybody get a chance to get something in. I know Seven is going to have to break camp for us in a little bit. Seven, I don't know if Mark is still watching, but he posted in there where were you going or something. So you know how Mark be throwing out some crazy ass comments and shit. So.
I see.
But let me come over to Miss Shima. Did anybody else have anything on that before we move around to something else right here? Because I got one last one
Well,
that we
I
did.
just want to say something about how I heard it come up a few times about how people raise their kids now. And I babysit sometimes, and I've had these young mothers come and this binary stuff. And she had this beautiful baby, Mexican and black baby girl, but she dressed her like you couldn't tell if it was a girl or a boy. Couldn't tell. And so I asked her, and she says, "Well, I don't believe it's my responsibility to tell my daughter that or influence her to be a girl. I think she needs to grow up and discover that on her own." And I
Oh
said, "What
no.
now?" And I said, "Well, I said, well, your first clue that she a girl is between her legs." And so, but I have been taking that initiative to speak up to these young women and these young mothers, even though they come off like they don't want to hear it, they know it. Everything is go. You can do whatever, be whatever you want to be, and change whatever. No, that is not right. That is not correct. And so I will buy her girly clothes. Her mama come home, she got barrettes in her head and everything. I say, here you go. And so just speaking to these mothers and just knowing to any young mothers watching this, if you want your boys to grow up to be men, and you have to get them around real men. And I know that may be hard to find because it seems like there's so much DL around, even in the households with married couples. Married to a whole man and your man somewhere getting his booty back. Or vice versa.
Damn.
So I know it's hard to identify a real man. And if y'all on this feed is a real man, baby, I love you. I love you. I love you. If you ain't that, and I don't know your
Love you
personal
too,
business, but if
Shima.
you still got a virgin booty hole, baby, I love you. I love you. I love you. You a real one to me, you hear? Okay. So
I'm gonna tell you this like this
even with
before.
women trying to find real men that they can trust their son around, because they'll sexually assault your son. They'll do all of that now, and they don't really care your age no more. So when it comes to finding men that you can actually trust, that's a real man, and then trying to find that avenue of how do I raise my son to stand in manliness. But know that, I'm gonna tell you, first of all, pray about it, because God will send somebody your way to help you raise those boys. But all that coddling, and you're not a boy or a girl, and you're binary, I'm gonna let you discover it. No, if you don't tell your child who they are, somebody else is gonna tell your child who they are, and you're gonna have to accept something in your family and your bloodline that you never intended for. So if you tell your child if he's a boy or a girl, a man or a woman, you tell your child that. Don't leave that up to the Democrats or society or whatever you want to call it, new age, whatever. Get rid of that. You got a boy, you got a girl, and they put it on the birth certificate. And
Well,
Trump said it's only one boy and a girl now. It's okay.
I'm gonna tell you this before I think, cause Davis had something. We're gonna work the room, but I'm gonna tell you this: I like the pink, not the stink. So I'm gonna leave that right there like that. So, Davis, I think you had something. Then we need to see about 7
No,
before
I'm
he
good.
go in. You good?
I'm good. Yeah.
7. Somebody posted in the comments. They better get 7 started.
Let's do that, man, because it's wild, man. And that shit crazy because and that hit home for me. I remember I was talking to my daughter, she just turned 16, and I was like, what has life been teaching you? You know what I'm saying? Like, how you been enjoying Earth? What's been going on? Tell me something about yourself, right? Something new that you discovered. She gonna tell me she binary. And what the fuck is you, a computer? You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit wild as hell. But you don't even know what the fuck that shit is. And then she talking about some other shit, and I'm like, hey, yo, you a girl. You know what I'm
Don't
saying?
bring that in this house.
I told her, you a girl. You turn to a woman. You a whole goddess out here. You need to motherfucker accept your power for what it is. You build civilizations. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta understand your power and why people are trying to program this shit into your head. You know what I'm saying? They trying to take away the power that you have to create life. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell this population control, all type of shit that go into this shit. You know what I'm saying? You got people talk about mental illnesses. Bro, we giving kids mental illnesses. When I was a shorty, bro, motherfuckers didn't give no fuck about no mental illness. Your parents will beat your ass. They didn't give no fuck about no mental illness. Bro, they didn't even think about that shit, y'all.
Yeah.
Never once I hear motherfucker be like, oh, my son got schizophrenia. That's why he bad. I ain't gonna beat his ass. You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna anoint you and pray for you all night till you deliver.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying people didn't have mental illnesses when I was a shorty. I'm just saying it wasn't all that mental illness shit when I was a kid. Motherfuckers outside in the alley throwing rocks at each other. Motherfuckers ain't say, man, them kids got a mental illness. Nah, nigga, we bad as hell. We throwing rocks. We playing dodgeball with rocks in the alley. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, the people just soft as hell on these kids, man. And like Shimon was saying, bro, we letting our enemies raise our children and tell our children what to think, how to feel, and who they are. You gonna run into problems like that all the time. You can't let a motherfucker tell your kid what gender they are. That's taking their power away. That's like a woman really can't all the way tell a boy where he is, and then you expect him to motherfucking grow up to be your protector. If you're gonna raise that boy soft as hell like that, he gonna be hiding in the corner with your ass and somebody come up in the crib.
You gonna get your Ralph Tresvant.
Let
Hey,
me
You screaming and your son screaming too. Shit.
let me see what PM gonna say. But first, I just like to remind all our viewers that's watching that it's 100% free to like, share, and subscribe. You'll find the link in the description. If you like to subscribe to Wizzo Talk or scrolling right across the bottom of the screen, I appreciate your support. Just free to share, like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. PM, what was you about to say there?
I said you're gonna get you a man like Ralph Tresvant, a man with sensitivity. Like you said, y'all both gonna be hiding in the corner somewhere. And what's so crazy? I'm lost. I don't even what's binary. They got so many acronyms and crazy stuff for it. What's binary? I just know about a binary trigger. What's binary?
Binary mean you ain't nothing, bro. They just a human. You know what I'm saying? You don't have no gender or some shit. I'm like, when my daughter said that shit to me, I automatically thought about computer code. I'm like, the fuck is going on here, man?
So you don't exist? That's crazy.
Like, you exist as a person, but you don't have one gender at all. You just
So you
them,
just
they.
it.
That's the binary shit.
You just the it. That's
Yeah.
it.
You have no genitals.
Right.
Damn.
So what you pee out of? I know damn well she get a period. That's all. Like, what the fuck? You
That's
tweaking.
crazy. Yeah, that's some new stuff. I don't keep
Shan,
up with it.
go ahead, PM.
No, go ahead. I just don't keep up with it, man. I just got lost when they start saying other than gay. They got me.
You got
That was
left
it.
on the you got lost on the
It's either you
queue.
male, female, or gay. That's the only ones I know.
I don't know. Let me see what Shan, you got a
stopped on
comment
the
on?
queue, P.
Shan, what you got there? You got a
You
comment on
stopped on the
something?
queue. You don't know the rest.
Oh. Shan, what you got there? Shan, did
What
you
the
hear?
hell, LB?
Damn, no, I don't have anything. I don't know what's going on with my connection.
Okay,
No.
all right. Well, let me move over here to y'all. The comments is kind of going crazy over there too. So y'all check out their comments. What's up, Creek? PM, you got anything you want to throw out there for us? But before you do, let me say this. I know 7 had to break off. when we was talking about raising kids, I will say this, that it's a new day and a new time. I mean, back when I was coming up, the whole village can kind of tighten your ass up.
Yep.
But now you go up there and you grab one of these other kids nowadays, even if that kid is doing wrong, you probably gonna have to deal with that mama about you putting your hands on her baby. So it's a different day and time now, even though her son or daughter was probably doing wrong and needed somebody to go on and yank their ass and get them in line. Some parents are a little bit more protective. So in other words, my opinion, you kind of gotta watch it before you just reach out there and reach out there and touch them, in other words, or something like that. So
Do
that's my
parents
thought.
actually use switches, branches these days?
Say again.
Do parents actually use switches, branches? I used to get whip them with a switch or a branch. My dad used to make me
Oh,
and
the
my brother go
extension
get our
cords is
own.
gone. The branches is
Yeah.
gone.
We used to have to go
I
get our
think the
own.
shoes is gone too.
It's a new day and time. But let me run down here to PM to see if he got something he want to throw out here for us, because I don't want to keep y'all too much longer. But let me see what PM gonna throw out here for us.
Man, I didn't drew a blank when he said a branch. I was like, that's a good one. I remember going to get a switch, but a branch. I'm gonna help. Hey, bro, be the hug. I want to see you. Nah, I don't have
Be
nothing
like,
to do with it.
go pick your switch off that tree out there.
Man, I can go get a switch, but he said a
Bring
branch.
me a
I'm
switch
like,
off that
man,
tree out there.
Yeah, check out that
what did
branch.
you do that you needed a branch,
You
bro?
gonna pick the smallest little.
That they must have been robbing banks at 8. He just swing it.
Well, actually, shoot, my days now, the school to discipline me and my brother. Back then they used to have a paddle, and if somebody messed up, they used to get paddle our ass. And then we got
I
home,
got
we
that
got to
in
whip them
elementary
again.
school.
Yeah,
My teacher.
yeah,
They had the little
yeah,
paddle with the holes in it. I got that when I
yeah,
was in elementary school in LA.
yeah.
Linwood, yeah. What's so crazy? He was married to one of the family friends, so I knew I shouldn't have been acting up in school.
Yeah,
I caught
yeah.
that fade though. I caught that fade.
I got where I didn't take them damn licks. Shit, the principal wanted to give me some licks. I was like, shit, send me home. Cause guess what? I had the key to the mailbox. My mama was working. She never saw that note about me getting my ass in trouble. Shit, I
Hey,
kept that.
hey,
He
you
for to
Hey,
hit
you
me
say
and
I
knock me
gotta
over
get
that
that up
chair.
for your parents, kid.
What's that?
I
yeah.
remember that.
Hell no.
Wizzo was an interceptor. He was like, I'm gonna intercept that message.
Shoot, my parents was
And
a
they
part of
start calling the house.
PTA.
Your parents part of the PTA. Oh, you couldn't do
Yeah,
shit.
nope, not at all.
All right. So let me see. But first, did Shima or Chandra, did y'all have anything before a talking point before I say something?
I was gonna
Okay.
say that not only, I know we're talking about the sons, but the
Now
girls
we talking
too.
about anything.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I'm about to say the girls need that tough loving too. Cause I'm gonna tell you, like, when it came to my mom, it was different. I was a little mouthy, but when it came to my dad, I knew that he wasn't the one that was playing the games. You know what I'm saying? So when it came to him, I was straightened up and I was just totally different. But when it came to my mom, I was back to doing whatever. But then when he came home, it was just a whole different thing. I mean, I was humble, wouldn't say that, was just quiet. You know, that's how I was with, being in the household. But I was raised with, I had three brothers, and um being a female, raised up with, that much masculinity, it just makes you like, you know, it just make you a little built different. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to like raising the kids, you raise them. I was a young mother first. I was a young mother first, so she got out of the way. She got it a lot different than when it came to my boy. It was different. It was very different. But I mean, they still turned out to be very well, though. They still turned out to be just fine, just under a single parent leadership.
Let me just say this right here. This when this isn't an adult topic, an adult conversation between men and women. However, I just put off in there, can women raise their sons to be real men? Because when we have an adult conversation between men and women, that's why I'm working the room. So there's anything that you want to bring up. That's why I work the room to give everybody a chance to bring up whatever they want to. Once we get the meat off the bone on whatever I throw it up. We'll throw somebody else out there and get that meat off that bone, and we'll work that thing out. But
Yep.
so that's what I'm saying. So there's just a wide range of I like to give everybody a chance because I don't want it to all be about my topics. I want
Okay.
everybody to kind of get something in what they got. So you're
Oh.
saying that girls need tough love too, is what you were saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
I think
So
so. I think so. I think it helps.
all right, let's start with Davis. I'm sorry, Anthony. What you got on that?
So my daughter, I never really had to discipline her. Uh, but as she got older, I learned a lot of things that I should have done, but we didn't have that close relationship at that time. But now we do. Like we talked the other day for about an hour, and she explained something that she wanted to see me do as a father. And so I'll call it tough love. I just think it's strengthening our relationship.
Let me ask this before someone come in or something. Now, so were y'all wasn't in the same house then, right? Sound
Yeah, we
like
weren't in the same house.
y'all wasn't in the same house. So I mean, tough love. I don't think it's all about discipline. Also, too, I mean, it's also about teaching him. Also, like when we was talking about can a woman raise his son to be a real man. It's about teaching your daughter also about guys or whatever at a young age. My daughter's listening in right now. I think she still is. I don't know. And I've talked to her about guys after the pussy. What they're trying to wind up doing. I've had to choke her ass a couple of times and shit like that too, And I've given out some tough love, but my kids know that they can talk to me about any fucking thing. I don't give a fuck what it is. Now, are they gonna talk to me about when they get their first piece of pussy, first dick? No, they're not gonna tell me about that. But I let them know, hey, don't be out there taking none of them pictures out there and showing your pussy and doing all that shit like that. I try to let them know in everything that I possibly can while I'm here, because as a guy, I know what I'm trying to do sexual wise, and I know how I'm trying to get off into that pussy, whatever, and stuff like that. So I make sure that she knows that, and my boys, they know or whatever. So I mean, it's not just about, so I guess it's kind of like some tough love and letting them know and educating them. My daughter then went off to college, and she knows everything. My oldest, hell, I think that motherfucker 40, I think. I don't know. But he calls me regular. My 26, I think he 26. I don't know. He calls me every day. My daughter, she's about 24, 25. They call me and we can talk about anything. They know that if they want to call me, but guess what? They probably not going to talk to me about fucking and sucking, but I've already covered that. I want to make sure that I cover that with them as early as I can to let them know. I can't remember if I took my oldest son, but I know I took my second son into the store and showed him about buying rubbers. Don't be scared to buy these motherfuckers. Shit, better to be gone safe. I always let them know you can't eat every goddamn thing too. I let my daughter know you can't suck every dick. So, but you have to kind of you have to have an open relationship with your kids to let them know that they can come to you and talk to you about anything. And that's just how I am. And they know that they'll call me, but they probably not gonna talk to me about no sex. They don't even want to, kids don't even want to picture their parents having sex, and fucking, but hey, that's how they got here. So I'm just saying.
So I respect that because I was raised where I wasn't able to talk about anything and everything with my parents. And so now that I'm older and I'm able to do that with my daughter now, but I didn't have that growing up.
And I'll go ahead.
Maybe that's one of my problems is right now, being able to communicate openly.
Right. And I'm gonna say this, and then we'll come to Shima PM and let them go ahead and say something. I talk a lot about breaking the cycle. From what we were taught and the way we raised up and teaching my kids something differently, even all about the Christmas and all these holidays and all that other shit like that or whatever. Blacks can't swim. I try to make sure that my kids can. I try to break that cycle. And where I'm going with that is I try to make sure that my kids can call and come and talk to me about any fucking thing or whatever. The door is open. If it's closed, I'm probably fucking, but wait till it's open and then we're gonna go and talk about it. But I I want to make sure that they know and they feel comfortable with me talking to me about
Yeah.
anything. My daughter, my son, they talk to me about relationships and stuff like that. And so we got to break that cycle to where they can.
Yep.
And that's just kind of how I am, not to go on and keep going on about it, but we got to let our kids, we got to break that cycle to where they feel comfortable, where they can come and talk to us about anything. But let me see what Shima, and then after Shima PM, we're going to hit you up. Shima, what you got on it?
Yeah, I agree with that. I raised my kids to talk to me about anything as well. My oldest son, sometimes he gets a little too graphic, and I I'll be like, I really don't want to hear that, but I listen anyway,
Right.
just to hear what they have to say. But for me, even though I was raised by a manly man, my father never talked to me and my sister about boys, about relationships. And that, I feel that hurt us in a lot of ways, and because of that, I had to learn, me and my sister it's like we had to learn from scratch because there was nobody there talking to us about relationships, not my mama or my dad. Okay, they were just really quiet about adult things, adult topics, So in return, I really pushed it with my kids.
Okay.
I started them off, as soon as they could talk 3, 2, I started them off, first of all, letting them know who should touch you. Nobody should be touching you. No, I let them know. And I raised them that way year after year after year. So that was our first conversation about sex, is understanding that people should not be touching you here. You should not feel uncomfortable here, things like that. And then as they got older, just kind of went into junior high, because my middle son, he's a cutie. People all my life thought he was Mexican, a Mexican Indian baby or something. But he come home showing me these girls in junior high school. The girls need the discipline. Butt naked pictures. Girl, you're seventh grade. You're seventh grade. You're sitting my son these pictures and my son come home the first time, he said, Mama, it's disturbing. I say, son, that is disturbing. So, I mean, yeah, we have that relationship. You can talk about anything.
Right. That's what's up. That's what's up. And before PM, before you go I just repeated, a couple of times throughout the show to all of the viewers that's watching right now. Just like you to remember that it's also 100% free to like, share, and subscribe. You like to subscribe to Wizzo Talk? The link is in the description or strolling right across the bottom of the screen. And also look in the comments. I don't know if from Facebook, if you can see the comments. I posted some links from everyone's off in there from their merch and from their podcast and stuff like that. But I know if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll be able to see everybody, all of the comments that's posted and like that. Because I don't think Facebook shows all of them. And I'm also live on Twitch, and I don't think Twitch also shows those. So with that being said, let me go and come to PM and see what you got to comment on, PM.
Yeah, what my thoughts on it is that each one of your children is going to be different. They're going to carry different personalities, different temperatures, different traits from you, from the mom, all the way down the line. So, it depends on how much pressure you might have to apply on certain children. You're not going to all get the same amount of pressure. I mean, some is different than others. So, like with my daughter, she's the youngest. She's 13. She coming up out of here. I'm going to definitely have to, because with the age of social media, all these different TikToks and different things, the inbox and instant messages is gonna be different. So my approach has to be different to her than it was my 20-year-old, 29-year-old son. So for me, I was a menace out there as far as with the women. So I'm gonna tell my daughter, my youngest one, on how to be aware of dudes like myself, the things that you gonna say to win, to get in,
Yep.
and all them
Yep.
different things. So, what better teacher to tell you and to make you aware of the different scenarios than your dad? I mean, and I know some of these young dudes ain't got the game that I had, so I'm gonna definitely instill that in her. I'm not gonna withhold that because I need to make her aware. Because the worst thing I want to do is she come back and say, "Daddy, why you ain't tell me about this?
Yeah.
Or why you didn't tell me this thing happened?" You know what I mean? I'm gonna sprinkle just enough that she can ingest it at the same time, but not overkill to make her like, oh, I don't want no boy. I mean, so I gotta learn how to apply that pressure to where I'm educating her on the slick things that dudes say, the slick thing, the moves that they make, and things like that. And I also have to learn what's going on in this social media realm because it's a different approach that's taken upon these children. You know, they're not asking for the phone number no more. They asking for your Snap and your Instagram and all that stuff. So it's gonna be a lot of stuff that as a dad I don't see. I mean, and I had to stay evolving and learning how to stay up on this new game while teaching her the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of crazy, but you got to know which child needs a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know what I mean? To make them who they need to be. You know, to get them where they need to go.
Right. That's definitely, I definitely agree with that. So Shandor, we was talking about your point about the girls need some tough love, but I'm gonna say this, PM,
Yes,
you
sir.
say your son is 29.
Yep.
PM, you looking like shit, like you barely over 29. God damn. It's like,
I have a 1.5-year-old grandbaby, man.
what?
Yes,
That's
sir.
God
what's
damn. I
up.
would, shit. God
Yeah,
damn.
yeah.
God damn. Shit. God damn. I would never put you shit. I'd probably put you around about 30 or something.
Man,
You
I
about
got
a
a
29-year-old
29-year-old son.
son.
Yeah, I got a 13-year-old daughter and then 2 in between.
Damn, that's what's up, man. Well, congrats on that
Yeah,
shit. Whatever you doing,
appreciate it.
I ain't gonna say what you might be doing, but you doing what you doing though, goddamn it. So so let me just touch on this right here, y'all, and then what we do is we'll go around the room and we'll get some closing comments after we touch on this right here. So what I'm gonna ask you, and first I'm gonna ask this to the ladies, and then the guys of course chime in also. But women likes to talk about communication and communication. The men need to communicate more. They don't communicate this, and sometimes we as men we don't communicate everything. But this one right here is one of my little sexual questions because I couldn't let everybody go without bringing up some fucking sex. So anyway, here we go. And this is this is a Google search that I did. That's where I got these numbers from. Shit, why you laughing and smiling already? So,
Cause
so
I know
here's
you finna say something silly.
here's my
What
Google
is
search.
it?
Here's my Google search. So, about 10 to 15% of women have never had an orgasm. Surveys suggest that up to half of the women are not satisfied with how often they reach an orgasm. So, ladies, I'm asking you this: how do you communicate that to your partner, to your sex partner, or whatever? I'm gonna say sex partner because I don't know how everybody roll or whatever. But after one time or whatever, we already know that the man is gonna have an orgasm or come quick sometime in some cases faster than the woman. So after you didn't went and you didn't dated, you done had whoopee 2 or 3 times, you're not getting satisfied. how, how do we cover this right here? Because this was an actual survey. About 10 to 15% of women have never had an orgasm. And that's why I posted something a while. Well, someone posted a while back. What do women do after sex? And had a percentage deal, and it said 85% of them finished the job. So, women, that's my question to you. How do you communicate to your partner that you're not being satisfied?
You said 85% of them say they finished the jobs themselves.
That's the survey said that, yes. But
Okay,
I
okay.
only talking about from my point right here that 10 to 15% of women have never had an orgasm. So I'm talking about communication is where I'm going with that. So how is that something that you can now you may be single, but nobody's here is virgins. So
Well,
how do
this
you
is a very
communicate?
adult conversation.
Easy work. It's an
And
easy work.
I would say
Yep.
It's easy work.
I agree with that. I would agree with that. It
Okay.
depends on the maturity of the woman, first of all. Because if a woman really understands her own body, that's the first question. Does she understand her own body? If a woman really understands her own body and she's with a man, she's gonna verbalize it. First of all, she won't verbalize it at first. She should, what I would do, teach him.
Okay.
show him the way to get to the spots, show him the different, because it's different ways. It's different ways. It could be
Right.
oral, or it could be by penetration, or it's different ways. You might be playing with some toys. A
Right.
woman who knows her body can show you how to get there. And if she feel like she just can't show you how to get there, and she knows she's never gonna get there, she might want to figure out how to implement some toys, or either you might want to just break that off.
Okay.
You gotta communicate and just say it. A mature woman is gonna want to get there, and she gonna tell you how to get there.
So how are you going to have that? So that's the conversation you're going to have with this guy right here. Because first, the woman got to know her own body. You got to know what it takes for you to get where you need to get. So you and him then made PM laugh when I said whoopee. Okay, go ahead, PM.
It's easy work. Emma, since you went first, what do I need to do to make it happen? I'm
It
communicating.
depends on the woman.
See how that
Every
is? Like,
woman's anatomy is
you right
made
there.
different.
Like, what do I need to do? What does it take? What's going on? What we need to do? Because we both gonna be in at the
Who
same
is
time,
we?
right? And then I just
Who
asked
is
the
we?
question, like, what's going on? But you got to know, like you said, the woman has to know herself, but the man has to be able to talk to the woman and be comfortable. Don't be offensive, fellas. Find out what it is, and then add a little something to it. You know what I'm saying? Young lady at the bottom, what's your name? With the C, what's your name?
Chandra.
Sandra?
Chandra. Yeah.
Chandra, what does it take?
Mhm. I mean, I'm honest.
Okay, so
I
what would it take? This is a grown up
I mean,
conversation. What would it take?
yeah. I mean, I just got to tell them. I don't have a problem with doing that though. I
There's no
just say,
certain buttons or nothing that you need to be touched or
oh
here and
yeah,
there.
I'll definitely let that be known if that's what it is.
Oh,
If
okay.
that's what it is, if that's what it is, I'm definitely gonna let that be known. And I will say if I don't like something either, I'm like, no,
Oh,
I don't like that, or I don't like this.
so it shouldn't take that long, right?
I'm just saying.
I'm just
You be
asking.
like, go to the left. Now stop. Now
I'll
go
just,
back.
I'll just,
Now
yeah, I'll just be
stop.
like,
Now come
I'm
on.
like,
Now
That's why I
pause.
said
Now
it's easy.
I
Let's
mean,
get this thing over
breathe.
with.
no, listen, I don't have a problem. This is another thing about me. I don't have a problem taking control to do what I need to do to get where I need to get, and then, you know, you
So
know what I'm saying?
you gonna help me help yourself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help
Okay.
you help
Give me high five.
me, baby.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Just
help you
saying.
help me. We're gonna help each
So
other.
Here we go.
so how first let me let Dave Anthony go. Go ahead, Anthony.
I never experienced that problem, so I don't know.
Ooh, there
Well,
it is.
okay, wait a minute. Hold up a second. Hold up. So you say you never experienced that problem,
I
but
never had a woman complain.
I'm not saying she complaining.
Listen.
Mr. Whoopi
I'm not
himself.
hold on. I'm not saying she complaining because a woman, she may go and not even have an orgasm 3 or 4 times and not even tell you and not even say nothing about it because you saying that she's coming every single time y'all have sex.
At least that's my goal
That's
to
your
make her
goal,
come.
but
That's
she
a
may not have
good goal.
communicated. See, what I'm trying to see is how did that communication
That's a
come
very
about?
good goal.
So I never had a woman come to me and saying that she wasn't satisfied.
Right. And some of them may not, because like on the percentage scale that I had earlier, it said 85% of women said they'll finish the job themselves. So she might even not even tell us. We don't know. Because we know that some men talk about shit. I was in that thing for 4 hours. Well, what the fuck
I
ever.
have one friend, and she does tell hers, and he knows when they done and he didn't finish the job. He be right there in the bed with her. She'll pull her toy, and she'll finish the job, and he'll be, but he knows.
Right.
She said it.
Well,
He
I've seen that
knows.
happen. I've seen that happen.
This is my thing that I'm talking about communication. I know PM was saying, that's easy work, and it can be. But some men, you got this stud over here, or whatever, sitting there and their dick wrap around the toilet when he sit down and take a piss of shit or whatever. And it's already been saying that when you do the research that a woman G-spot ain't but 2 to 3 inches in. And so
Done your research.
I've researched a lot of shit because I be wanting to know. You know, I'm telling you, I just ain't gonna put it all out here right now. But what I'm talking about is how you communicating that with your partner, because you know, men can get down there. You can be off in that thing for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. She just getting warmed up. But if you don't go on
A man who knows a woman's body, okay?
you
A
have to
man who
learn
knows
that.
one now. There's pros and cons to this, because there's some men who know a woman body too good, and you be like, is you a nympho or you in a what you been doing?
He put his work in, he did some research. But not every woman is the same, because some woman might like this one, and some, like you were saying a while ago, to the left, some might like it to the right. But I'm talking about, you know, how are you, because I just don't think, you know, and I've researched that some women don't always communicate that to their partner, that they're not satisfied in bed. If so, those numbers, you know, that 10 to 15%, whatever, wouldn't even be like that. It sounds low, but for a woman
Well,
not to be
most of the
satisfied in
time-
that man is, it's a problem.
Most of
Eventually.
the time, when a woman doesn't tell a man that, it's only for a few reasons. You
Don't
know,
wanna hurt
one
his
is
feelings.
maybe it's a first encounter, maybe if 1 or 2 encounters, and they just trying to get used to you, and they just gonna see if y'all gonna connect and vibe later. 2, they really, really care about you. They really, really like you. They cut for you. They don't want to hurt your feelings. They just gonna stick with you, and they'll just finish the job later because they don't want to leave the man. They want the man, you know, and they'll sacrifice that to keep that man. And then 2, yeah, them mostly the 2 reasons that a woman wouldn't say nothing.
You know,
Because
and
other
first
than
let me
that,
see
if she
this.
don't like you and don't care anyway, she gonna say it. If she really horny and she got a high sex level and she know it's not gonna please her, she's gonna tell you. So it's
She's
only
gonna
a couple
tell you.
reasons they not gonna tell you.
All right, Sandra, what you got?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. I don't care about hurting your feelings, sir. I don't like that. Don't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? Period.
Right.
So I'm gonna tell him I don't care about hurting his feelings. I mean, no, but she is right. There are some men that, you know, do know the woman's body just well. They know what to do. You don't have to give it no direction.
They go to that spot every time.
And tell them what to do. There are some, but then there are some that think women like the same thing, and women don't like the same thing.
Right.
So
Okay. You know, and I'll say this, that when I interviewed Tay Tay a while back on I think it was my second podcast. I think we was talking about sex toys in the bedroom. And she was saying one of the things was that, you know, for the man to watch the woman please herself, you know, to enjoy things with herself and don't be intimidated by those toys, because, you know, one of the things with sex toys is it keep you from having to eat pussy so much. You know, you can just wind up, you can use them to your mouth get tied, your
You
tongue get
better
tied,
eat
your
your
teeth.
vegetables.
Wizzo said, look, wait, damn.
They're good.
Okay, Wiz.
You don't make it sound like it's such a horrible thing. It's a beautiful thing.
It's a good jump starter. So some women, y'all on the damn shade.
All right.
Some women may like some women may like watching porn or whatever to turn them on. You have to find another way to see about y'all still to get them.
No, I'm envisioning Ray Charles when that lady said, "Ray, come get some of this blueberry pie." He said, "Oh, damn, Ray."
So
Yeah.
just communicating, you know, just talk about the communicating, you know, and please the woman. So, you know, when you first start out and when you first meeting a woman or whatever, sometimes you're not even thinking about pleasing or whatever. You think about fucking and it's over with. You didn't bust to come and maybe she did, maybe she didn't. And then you put your clothes on, got a towel and wash your dick off and you're gone. You know, then later on you'll kind of fit, well, shit, you know, let me go and see, let me take a little bit of time with this. Let me go and do whatever. On Creed podcast the other day, one of the ladies said that she like it missionary because she liked the guy to look at her. Some guys can look at it, well, you like it missionary because you just like to lay on your back and not move. shit, maybe once you get up here and ride this dick, but she didn't want it from the back because she figured that
She
wasn't
said she wouldn't
attracted to
offer
her like
none of
that.
that back doors from the back at all. She was just like, "You gonna look me right in my face."
Yeah, and that can be good and bad too, because if she make the wrong face, shit, he didn't come too quick and it's over with any goddamn way. So, but anyway, with that being said, y'all, we I want to kind of go on to, if we close in on 2 hours. So what I want to do is go ahead and go around the room, let everybody, give any closing comments that they want. We talked about the communication with the sex toys or whatever. I just like to put it out there and, and the communication, because women always talk about how men don't communicate. And to men, sometimes, that's one of our biggest things right there. We trying to get us some sex. Long as that motherfucker getting up there, we trying to get him in and get him wet, So to those that like the pink and not the stink, the ones that like the stink, hey, that's what they do. I ain't hating on them. They do what they do.
So
But
what
that
a group
is,
of men. So a
go
group
ahead.
of men they asked the question: why do men have a problem admitting that they have ED? And
Erectile dysfunction.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you, it said that now men may not admit that with their partner. They may. I'm gonna tell you this here. And let me see. I want them to know I'm talking. A friend of mine was dating an older guy, and this was a while back, and I think he was probably maybe 60 at that time. And I don't know how the conversation came up, but she said, "Shit, he don't need none of that stuff. He gonna go." But first thing is, he ain't even finna tell your ass. He finna go and take that motherfucker while he in the restroom, where he's somewhere else, and do some foreplay. He finna eat that motherfucker. He finna do a whole bunch of other stuff till they wake up. And if it wind up where he didn't tuck it, and you got that cycle, and you got company, then he just gonna be over there with bed looking like a TP tent. So and it's the same way, because women have issues with their personal stuff, and they're not gonna maybe tell a guy, So, but
What
I
you
don't
say?
think a guy just gonna
What
come
you
up and
say?
admit up that he has. What you say that he has ED? Which and some women may laugh at that, but sometimes it may not take nothing but for her to go and go over there and blow on that motherfucker a little bit, or to suck his nipples or suck his dick or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, but a man, I don't think he's going to admit to the woman like that he has ED. Now,
women, do
if
you want
it's
them
his
to?
wife, she's going to know
Not unless
later.
it's so bad that they have to use a penis pump. So if they have to use a penis pump, then they ain't
Yeah,
got no choice but to tell you, because they got to
right,
do some pumping.
right.
Okay.
And let me tell you this right here on this note, and this is some true shit. Now, a friend of mine, this was probably back in I don't know, late 90s or somewhere like that. I can't remember, but that's when I used to work with this guy. He's a retired veteran, and he used to say that he said, "Man, Wizzo, shit, he had high blood pressure and all this shit." And I forgot how old he was back then, but he used to say he can take a pinch, break a half of a Viagra off, and shit, he was putting that work in. But then later on down the line, they changed his prescription, whatever. I don't know. And he drinks a lot too. He used to drink a lot back then. And so then he went to 1.5 and they wouldn't work. It got where it wouldn't work. So, and he was a veteran, he get this shit free. And so he went to get the injection. And so he told me one time, he said, "Man, Wizzo, I took that motherfucking injection and I gave myself too much." And he was Googling how to get that damn thing down, because it would not go down. It was sitting over there, man, because he had to give himself an injection inside on the penis, not inside, but somewhere on the shaft. I don't know. But my point is, shit, his wife
How long
probably
did
knew
that
about it.
last?
Shit,
How long
he
did that last? And where was his woman at?
shit, she couldn't take no more of that shit,
Look,
because
I mean, can I get 72 hours out of that?
he was tired. I'm telling you, that's real shit. He got the injection. The I think he said that back then that the medicine only lasts 30 days, so they gave him free from the VA. But just to answer your question is, I don't, men, that's kind of our thing. I don't think we'll share that openly. Over time, we might, but we're gonna keep that hidden as long as we can. I think, like Sashima said, until you got to be sitting over there, pump that motherfucker up like a flat tire, you know. And then, but it happens so often to men, and we have no control over that shit. You want that
Well,
dog to
and
still
then
hunt, but
blood pressure medication, depending on which one it is, that will lead to ED as well. And so some men don't know that. Like Like last year, my mama husband in the hospital. I go see mom and them, and he talking to the doctor, and he just refusing to take it. And finally, I put it together. I say, "Are you having problems getting it up?" And he just sat there quiet. I said, "Can you change his high blood pressure medication, please, so he'll take this medication?" And that was it. He just after that he was good to go. But changing that high blood pressure medication can sometimes help with that.
Well, I'm gonna get
That
ready
is
to.
true.
I'll go ahead, PM.
That is true, but what you can do is there's natural healing that you can take. I have a guy over at Gangster Holistic. His name is Jay Allen. Go check him out at gangsterholistic.com. He had a couple of life-threatening issues, and he started going more natural, holistic, right? So the doctor did give him some blood pressure medicine. Said him and his woman was all over the room before the medicine, and then when that medicine took place, he was in there like a Laffy Taffy, couldn't do nothing straight. So he went to his doctor and asked his doctor. He was like, "Look, I'm having these issues." Only thing the doctor was trying to do is prescribe him more medicine. And he was like, "Nah, I don't want to get on no more meds because I'm on more meds, a lot of medicine as it is." So he tapped into with one of the ladies that we went to school with. She was, I guess uh, basically she made the holistic stuff. She got his own brand of holistic kind of medicine and his own line. So you can check him out at gangsterholistic.com. His name is Jay Allen. Tap in with him, man. If you're having those problems, your soldier standing at attention, he can definitely work some things out for you naturally, without no medicine, no extra anything, stuff like that, and get you back on track with your love life.
Already, Gangster Holistic. Y'all check that on
Yeah,
out. So that's what's up.
gangsterholistic.com.
Already.com. So let me go and work this room, and so we can go and get ready to get up out of here. I don't want to hold everyone longer than what we have to. This thing get to going, and we just get to enjoying the conversation. But if you're watching right now, I just like you remember that it's 100% free to like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate your support. The link is in the description. If you'd like to subscribe to Wizzo Talk, or strolling right across the bottom, and make sure you check out in the chats. I think if you're watching from YouTube, you can see all of the links that I posted from all of my guests, where they have their YouTube and how to reach them and merch and so forth and so on. So y'all make sure y'all check them out. With that being said, let me come up here with Miss Shan so you can give any closing comments that you like, Miss Shan.
Great podcast tonight. I'm glad I was able to join, though I was late. Hopefully, a black hiking group coming soon. Hopefully, we'll see about that, Wizzo.
Right. Yeah. Damn, Shan, we kind of losing you a little bit, but we heard a little bit of that. Say, and y'all make sure y'all, if y'all like to get into any hiking, Chandra, she gets out there and she does that hiking. I've seen her work out at the gym. I'm not taking my ass in there to work out. What I tell you that right now. She be in there getting that shit on. So, but she's been on Wizzo Talk several times before. So I appreciate her wholeheartedly. She's one of my go-tos. So I appreciate you. Miss Shima, what you got right there for us?
Well, I'm back, Shima Lab, personal development coach, premarital life coach. I'm all about identity, understanding who you are, how to protect and raise your family. So talking about these fathers and women raising men, you can reach out to me on my website or on YouTube if you need any life coaching when it comes to raising your children, how to raise your children, what type of behavioral or discipline tools to use, strategies to use on your children, how to raise your boys to be strong men if you're just a single woman on your own and you really don't know, how to raise your daughter in a culture where everything is binary. How do you make sure your kids have a strong foundation in their identity? Because it means the entire world. It's more valuable than whatever car you think you're riding in, whatever house you think you're living in. What is important is your legacy, your bloodline, and protecting their identity is the number one thing you could do. So reach out to me. And even if it's premarital coaching, you dating a guy, you dating a woman, you don't know if she's the right one. I just did a whole series on gold diggers, how to spot the signs and symptoms of a true gold digger. So reach out to me on Help Me Out, and I would love to do some coaching with you.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And Shima, she's one of my ladies that one of my go-to ladies also now. Cause PM, I'll tell you this right here, man. for a while, it was so hard for me to get women on the show. It was I struggled with that a lot, and the guys was always ready, and then all of a sudden, I've got a certain set of women, and if they're not working, they don't tell me no, and I appreciate them wholeheartedly because they come on, and I've shared some with you also, and they just I can't say enough. I appreciate the ladies that comes on wholeheartedly. And I've been knowing Sheema for a while. We swing dance partners, so I've been knowing her for a while and stuff like that. So let me come over to Mr. David Anthony. Sorry about that.
Anthony Davis once again. I just recently started my handyman service, CANI handyman service. About the AC season, I'm ready to pick work on your AC units. Y'all need some help with the AC units? Give me a holler. Give me a shout. You got some electrical work, got some plumbing work, flooring done, painting, sheetrock, whatever. Just give me a holler. I got your back. Once again, CANI handyman service.
That's what's up. Say, and Anthony, when after this is over with, if you think about it, if you share this, make sure that you attach your link to the ones on Facebook because I don't think they can see all of it in the chat unless you subscribe to the YouTube. So I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
once you go back, you share that and attach that so they can reach you because handyman. But are you in Austin? You're in Austin,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So most definitely, make sure you share that link and share the podcast and stuff like that. So everybody needing a handyman because everything else is higher than giraffe pussy. So I'm just saying. So make sure you know that. And last but not least, I gotta come over here to this young brother right here. Say he got a 29-year-old son. Shit.
Hey. Shout out to Wizzo, man. Shout out to Sheema. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate Sheema for coming on last weekend on That's What She Said podcast
Oh,
at the
no problem. No
podcast
problem.
on YouTube. The women had they say so, and the men just came this prior Sunday or this previous past Sunday, and they had they little, say so on what the women was thinking. So check me out on the PM Lifestyle Podcast. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Falon McKnight. The PM stands for something. Instagram, Falon McKnight. You can follow me there. Have a lot of crazy dialogue. If you need your firearm training, I got you. And also we in the barbershop too. So I got a local barbershop out here in Frisco, Texas. But Wizzo had us on here. Can women raise their sons? Yes, you can. It's going to be a little bit more pressure that needs to be applied. So with that being said, moms, keep your foot on their neck. Don't let up. Apply all pressure. You know what I mean? It's gonna make them greater in the end. It's gonna make them respect you. You know what I'm saying? So if not, always take them to a local barbershop, which y'all don't know and don't realize that there's men in these barbershops, the black men resort. If you go in there and you speak to a black man and say, "Hey, I'm having some issues," and somebody come in here and talk to my son, you always have a barbershop. You'd be surprised how many men in there would love to sit your son down and have a conversation with him. Don't be scared. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Wizzo for having me on his platform. I want to thank you, man. Thank you for all the support. You know what I'm saying? And then, anytime you need me, man, holla at me.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I appreciate it. I also want to give a shout out to all of the viewers that's watching now. Someone then dropped off. Maybe you're watching it now. Maybe you're watching it later. Hey, we appreciate your support. On Wizzo Talk, you never know what you're going to get. It's totally uncut, unedited, unscripted, all that shit all in one. But we appreciate you wholeheartedly for tapping on in with us. And until the next time, this your boy Paul Wizzo saying, holla at your boy. We're going to get up out of here.
Peace out.